Mahalo everyone for showing up here today in celebration of Hawaiian independence. My name is Iolani Winchester. How about a big round of applause for Kaukaohi Wahilani, MC for the day. Mahalo to all of our musicians and speakers who came before. Don't leave, we still have much more ahead. July is a celebration of the sexiest holiday in Hawaiian history, Kala Hoi Hoi Ea.
Yo!
And as we celebrate the restoration of Hawaiian independence, there's a couple of important dates I want to announce. Coming up very shortly, Kala Hoi Hoi Ea has split apart our educational engagement in the community throughout the entire month of July. So if you guys can follow La Hoi Hoi Ea on the Facebooks, on the Instagrams, on the interwebs, you're going to find the latest updates. Very soon, in 2 days, we want to announce another community update available for us all to engage in Huli Kalima Ilalo, that is to turn our hands to the soil. Announcing July 6th this Sunday, Malama Kaniaka Pupu, big up to Ark and Uncle Baron Ching. May or may not be in the audience, but for many years, Baron Ching, as well as Lynette Cruz and their company have been celebrating, as well as restoring Kaniaka Pupu, which is the summer palace of Kauai Keoli, this guy. And so we invite you to come and check them out from 9 o'clock. The following day, Monday, not the following day, July 10th, Nation of Hawaii, Waimanalo, calling all Kanakas and all Kanaka supporters, we invite you to Ho'ea Waimanalo, that is the film showcase, which features films by Native and Indigenous peoples from the Pacific, focusing on the struggles, the celebrations, and the stories of our people. Mahalo and big up to Lauren A. Thurston or Tiare Rabo out there. Big ups. Mahalo for carrying that heavy kuleana. You can go vomit in the bathroom when you pau. Oh, wait. He lua. Ole. Tiare is part of a group of amazing filmmakers, Kanaka filmmakers, that have put together this event that spans across the major islands of Hawaii, that is Hawaii Island, Maui Island, Oahuas, Molokai, Lanai, all celebrating La Hoi Hoi Ea together through film. So please, July 10th, come over to the Nation of Hawaii in Waimanalo to check out our film showcase. July 11th, the following day, please come over to the Supreme Court across the street, Iolani Hale, where we're going to be celebrating the life's work of Liko Martin, one of our honorees for 2025. Big round of applause for Uncle Liko. Don't go away, Uncle Liko's still here. Also in July, we have work days at Kaulua Kalana over in Kaneohe. Also celebrating Nahua Ea for any of you poets out there who want to share and be part of Lahui poetry, Lahui spoken word. We encourage you to go on the internet and check out July 12th workday at Kaulua Kalana, East Side, Kaneohe, and stick around for Nahua Ea. We may have a few of our special guests coming up today to present just a little bit. Finally, July 20th, if you are on Kauai, anybody from Kauai, Manokalani Po, make some noise. If not, then go tell your cousins over there that there's another special La Hoi Hoi event coming up shortly. With that, I encourage you guys to go ahead, get on social media, find out about all the different events we got going on today, throughout the month of July, I should say. I want to say a big special mahalo to all of the organizations. I want to say mahalo to Iolani Palace. I want to say mahalo to the Waianae crew for putting together this event, which you all enjoy. How about a big round of applause? Mahalo everybody. Finally, do not forget to join us on the last Sunday of July at the Crown event at Thomas Square, Kula Okahua, where we're going to share the very important story of Hawaiian sovereignty restoration at the site of Hawaiian sovereignty restoration, where we will achieve sovereignty restoration once again. So we invite you all to Thomas Square, the very first national park, the very first national monument dedicated by Kauai Keoli to Admiral Richard Thomas for the Pono deeds, for the return of Hawaiian sovereignty to the king and to the crown. E o kako. Without further ado, we're going to bring up our next speaker up to the stage, somebody who needs no introduction, but you know her as a staunch Aloha Aina advocate, as a powerful speaker, chanter, composer, leader of our community, and delegate of our people around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, Iolani Palace, please, big round of applause. Welcome to the stage, Kumuhina.
Ano ai me ke aloha ia kākoa paulo e ke anaina o ke launa ana aloha. Mai ka pi'ino kala I kumukahi makahi o hae hae. Maka ai no Hawaiian nui. A hiki ka na po'ono kala I ke one nani o ni ihau. Ano ai ke aloha ia kākoa pau I ke la nani mai kai. Mahalo anu ia o ko kākou launa ana manei makapoli I ke alo no hoi o ka haleali'i o Iolani. Mahalo anui for those who came and for our families and friends who are not spending this wonderful day in observance of the truths of history that bring us together. We send them our aloha, but most of all, aloha to everyone here. Again, aloha, aloha, aloha. Some of you might be wondering, what is Kumuhina going to say today? And sometimes I can get myself into lots of hot water depending on what I say and depending on who's the audience. So I ask each and every one of you your kindness, your consideration, and your patience as I share with you some random thoughts from a random individual. That random individual is going to be me. And this has to do with something that you said, Kauko'ohu, and I am glad that you said it. Do you remember what you said about reclamation? What did he say, everyone, about reclamation? Reclaiming what? Our nation and, more importantly, our identity. Now, for those of you who may be very keen on a more Western American, European-centric understanding of identity, what might you expect somebody like me to come up here and speak about today? Somebody finish this sentence. Hi, I'm Hina and I'm... I said, you guys not listening. I said, think with an American, Western, European hat on. So finish the sentence. Hi, I'm Hina and I am...
a Christian.
Aloha no kahoia. Ahana oto holo he pono I ka olelo ia o ko. Okay. You might expect that I'm going to come up and say, hi, I'm Hina and I'm trans. My identity is something that has to do with sex and gender, and I might tell you something about pronouns. You guys all know what I'm talking about? No lie. Pronouns. Do I have pronoun people inside over here? I think I see some of you. Okay, I'm not trying to call you out. My purpose is to make people think, because in light of what we see coming from the continental US, the madness and the craziness that arrives to our shores is never ending. And truth be told, I'm sharing with you some of the truth bombs of this random individual's journey standing in front of you. one day I receive a call saying, Kumuhina, Kumuhina, oh my gosh, what are we gonna do? And it was a mahu on the other side. So the voice was kind of like mine, you know what I mean? Same voice. Appearance looks one way, the voice is the other way. Sorry, not sorry. And so I said, well, what do you mean, what are we gonna do? And she goes, well, what are we gonna do? They're gonna take away our rights, they're gonna make us change our birth certificate, they're gonna make us change our IDs. And I said, stop spinning, okay? Like everything else in the world, no matter where we go, no matter where we are, whether we are here in our homeland, here in our motherland, whether we are here in our mainland or not, that mainland has to resonate, it has to live, it has to dwell and exist within who? You and I. And so today, my address to all of you is the same words. Our mainland of Hawaii has to live. And not just live, but it has to thrive within you and I. And as far as Kumuhina's very personal sentiment goes, I used to feel some kind of way about you having to be Kanaka. And I don't subscribe to that anymore. Because the truth of our existence here in Hawaii is that we are a minority in our own homeland. And Kanaka, ethnic Kanaka, are going to need as many friends, supporters, and allies as we can get. A healthy Hawaii by and for Hawaiians needs more than just Hawaiians to be able to take us to some kind of finish line other than where we are now. So when she says, so what are we gonna do? And I said, you're not going to do anything. You're going to dig your heels in. You're going to ground yourself further in being Kanaka. Know who you are. Think about it. Know who you are. Now, as far as Kumuhina goes, I get asked to speak in the community in many different places for many different occasions. I am often asked to speak about things Hawaiian. And inevitably, one of those topics tends to be about mahu, sex and gender. And when I think about it, aloha opio ma, young people. I love seeing young people. Hello, young people. Hi. Sorry, my ADHD is kicking in. Hi. We have more young people. Well, I know I've seen young people over here. Hi. Aloha. Aloha. Hey, some of you is not as young as you might. Nah, just kidding. Okay. Now, for a very long time, I have been on a journey about not only reclaiming our rightful identity, but centering myself. And it started with me. It started as way back when I was 21. And when I was 21, I think I just started to live my truth. So today you're going to get some truth bombs from Kumuhina. I started to live my truth and be consistent with it. Now, when I used to look in the mirror, I didn't always like what was looking back at me. But that's okay. We just keep working on it. And so I suggest to all of you, if you guys look in the mirror and you don't like what you see, well, don't complain, just work on it. Because it's not so much of getting exactly to the place, but it's about the journey on the way to where you want to go. And the things that I have realized have truly helped me. And it started first me internally. I remember going to the University of Hawaii, and one day I walked in, and it ended up being my last day of walking into the Kane bathroom of UH Manoa. And I'll never forget the Kane that walked out looking at me walking in, and Brother man was like, what is that? And who you walking in this bathroom? And the next day I said, okay, we're gonna make the switch. Put the hair up. The hair was short, you know, we was twisting it up with the pencil, but it wasn't too much hair, so we just tried to make them look kind of like a little poof. And we had a cut t-shirt and we wore pareo, and we were trying to look very island. And I still got looks, but I just kept going because I felt safer going to the wahine bathroom. And we just worked on our appearance. But to do that took a lot of courage, of which I didn't have. And right on the heels of that, I ended up finding myself in a relationship. And I didn't even ask my dad. I didn't even ask my parents. I didn't even say anything. I just rolled up with the person that I was in a relationship with, and that was it. Why? Because my identity was about me. And my acceptance of whatever my reality was going to be about, do I even accept myself? So how does this have merit upon you, my fellow Kanaka here in the audience? What this means is the epiphanies, the realizations, the light bulb going on was that I had to see that growing up in Hawaii and being called, hey sissy, are you faggot, are you this, you that, you this, you that. And on top of that, one of the worst words that I thought at the time was mahu. But here I am, coming through school, learning our olelo, being taken in by Ohana Ni'ihau at age 17. If you folks don't know, I was taken in by two houses, one Ni'ihau house and one Tonga house at age 17. So you heard it straight from me in case you wonder about Kumuhina's history. And I thought to myself, well, how do I reconcile this word mahu? Because everything that I heard said to me, told me that I was bad. But how can I be bad? And I eventually found out that what I really should be paying attention to are two words. Ke olu olu e ho'opili mai ka koapau. Kulana. Please repeat after me if you didn't understand what I said. Kulana. Anaho, kulana. And the next word is kuleana. So you heard kuleana mentioned earlier. But if you don't know about kulana, then your kuleana might be all over the place, and you might be either doing too much or you're not doing enough. Or you just don't know what you're doing because you're doing somebody else's kuleana. How many of you have ever had that happen where you're like, why am I doing this? Why am I even here? But I'm trying to avail myself to the effort. Oh, hello. I saw the butterfly. It's a visitation. All right, where are we going with this, Kumuhina? Knowing one's kulana, knowing one's role, knowing one's place in society helps you define your responsibilities and your duties. And so I thought, well, what does sex and gender have to do with it? Because I'm so accustomed to being in a Western-oriented discussion about sex and gender and LGBTQIA+, and the rainbow flag and the pastel-colored flag. And it took me a long time to realize that it just wasn't my narrative. It wasn't my narrative, and I did not need to be beholden to it. Why? Because in my own life, I was already on the pathway to acceptance. And this is as a, not only as a Hawaiian, as a Pacific Islander, but also on my Asian side, because my father is Chinese, and I'm half Chinese. The pathway to being accepted, honored, respected, came from knowing my role and carrying forward my responsibilities. But that should be a no-brainer because supposedly I'm making my way down this road of being Hawaiian. And what does that really mean to be Hawaiian or to orient ourselves to to Hawaiian things. So I take you back to the individual that called and said, what are we gonna do, Kumuhina? Because the American world outside is coming crashing down because people don't like trans people, then they wanna see us dead and all this, or unalived. Sorry, did I say a wrong kind word? Because now we're supposed to be politically correct and say unalived. And so, am I going on too long?
No.
A little bit more.
Carry on.
What? Did you say hurry up?
Carry on.
Sorry, I have the mic, okay? All right, so now, the point is, took me a long time to accept being mahu. What I thought was my weakness, what I thought was bringing me down, what I thought wasn't good, was actually going to turn out to be mana to me and power to me. Because I had to know how to reclaim my rightful identity. And when I show up somewhere in Hawaii, wherever I might see you, any one of you in this audience, I don't really have to worry, because I know that if you don't like me, it's probably because you don't like my politics. It's not necessarily because of mahu. And if you like me, it's likely because of my politics, because I said something in the news or somewhere that you liked. But there's one thing for certain, whether you like me or not, I don't have to announce that, hi, I'm Mahu, because everybody's gonna know. You're gonna see Kumuhina, you're gonna see the bun, you're gonna see the dress, whatever it is I'm wearing, but then I'm gonna open my mouth, you're gonna hear my voice, and you're gonna be like, oh, that's what it's all about. But I don't have to announce myself, and I don't have to put sex and gender. I don't have to tell you who I'm sleeping with, because I'm not sleeping with nobody. It's dry season right now. Hey, anybody experiencing the same thing? Yeah. Those of you not, be lucky. Enjoy it while you get them. So again, being Kanaka means that I have the ability to not be impeded upon by what the outside world thinks. But that started by doing little things, by remembering to tell myself Hawaii is my mainland. It's a small little detail. Hawaii is my piko. Hawaii is my motherland. Hawaii is my homeland. And if Hawaii is the center of my world, then what should be the rightful narratives that should resonate and echo in and around me? So when it comes to Mahu, and then the Western perspective of that, LGBTQIA is a rather rough parallel, but it's not an exact equivalent, because being Mahu, whether you're Kane, Wahine, or Mahu, we all have a kulana, a role, and we all have kuleana. We all have role and responsibilities. When you're Mahu, we're just not regular, normal, mundane, ordinary, run-of-the-mill Kane or Wahine. We have elements of both, so we get double the kuleana. Because Mahu can. Yes, I see you. So, for wherever it is that you are with what's happening in America, because today, well, I don't know how many of the Americans now are celebrating their holiday, but we're here and we're acknowledging our history. So since you're here today, I challenge each and every one of you, think about who you are and where your centering is. We heard it earlier when it was chanted earlier at the beginning of today. We are not American. We are not American. We are not American. I challenge you, how true could that be for you if the things we articulate and the ruminations that we allow to circle around in our head, dwell within our heart, and sometimes overcome our spirit, such that I go get telephone calls saying, oh my God, what are we gonna do? How decentered are you from that? How re-centered and reintegrated are you with being Kanaka in Hawaii? And then the question becomes, o vai oe, who are you? Heha kou kulana, heha kau mau kuleana. What is your role and what is your responsibilities? So to my fellow Kanaka, other Kama'aina, even Malihini Hale, who may just have happened over here at random. We are in Hawaii, and our ideology, our conceptualization of life, and what we do and how we do it all really helps to contribute to the kind of Hawaii that we want to be in. So when we lament about Hawaii, when I lament about Hawaii not being very much of a Hawaiian place, well, I know what I have to do. The question is, do you? Do you help other people to learn how to center themselves to Hawaii? Do you help other people to learn how? So the last example I give you is, a lot of my circle now, we're in our 50s and older. And I hear people lament about being called auntie and uncle. How many of you have lamented, oh my gosh, they call me auntie, oh, they call me uncle? You guys lie. I know you guys lie. So I tell them, why do you worry for? Allow them to call you that, because even though I don't want to be somebody's auntie and uncle just at random, it was meant, or it was intended to be a sign of respect, to acknowledge you as a makua or a kupuna to them. That in and of itself, and allowing somebody to honor us as an elder as we ascend up the ranks of age and social climate and also social clout. It's a place of honor to hold the space as an elder. It is like, I mahalo my kuwahi hanai and haumana, and now kia'i for me. Huluke is over here holding the fan, waiting for me to come. He's somebody that I have to rely on to kokua, because he honors me in that role of makua. So again, I challenge you, my fellow Kanaka and other Kama'aina and anyone else who's here. How is it do you see yourself in your space and place in Hawaii? And what kinds of centerings actually echo within your mind, your heart, as well as your spirit? I challenge you to consider this today. If I made you mad, sorry, not sorry, that's you, it's not me. Like I said, it was just random thoughts from a random person that was asked to speak. Why you even ask me for speak over here today? Oh my gosh. Oh, because you can. All right. I leave this with you today. The words of this song, if you know it, sing with me. Ke au ka aina I ka pono Velo maolo aku ai aloha I ka nu'u ka lewa ni la ai maluhi nona ka Hawaii, ku ai ka aina I ka pono. Ua mau ke au ka aina I ka pono. Ua mau ke au ka aina I ka pono. Ua mau ke au ka aina I ka pono. No leila ke anaina o ke launa ana. Ho mana o kākou, o waila kākou. Know who you are and know what is our contribution to our Hawaii. Mahalo anui ke hui ana. Mahalo, mahalo, mahalo.
Woo, we got patriotic at the very end, everybody. How's everybody doing? I don't know if you got jazzed up as well as I, but right on. Way to fly that high Hawaii. Mahalo kumuhina. Love you, Tita. So I got my next speaker coming up. He's also my Hanai nephew. He's from Hawaii for Palestine. He was birthed in his ancient lands of Palestine. His name is Ma'an Oda. He's gonna come up and speak, but before he does, I'm gonna do just one mele, and I'm gonna call up cousin Edie Hano to come up and do this hula. How's everybody doing? Right on, everybody. So I'm gonna call him cousin Edie. She's gonna do this. Oh, and you have a kaku'o. So I just thought, just going by the kupuna, and this song is written, just being that our mo'i wahine, who was our last mo'i, she was a fervent Christian, and just being inclusive for everybody here. His uncle Hercules, hui as well. But this song was recorded by Kavika Kahiapo. It's called O'Oio. O'Oio Emma Kualani O'Oio Kavaiola O'Oio E kumuola Na mea anai na mea pau E kuhaku Kamauna kie kie O'Oio O'Oio E makualani O'Oio Kavaiola O'Oio E kumuola Na mea nai na mea pau E kuhaku Kamauna kie kie O'Oio O'Oio E makualani O'Oio Kavaiola O'Oio E kumuola Na mea nai na mea pau E kuhaku Kamauna kie kie O'Oio E kuhaku mauna ki e ki e o iu. Mahalo nui. Thank you, cousin. Hang out to her. All right, everybody. Right now, I'm going to call my Hanai nephew, Ma'an Oda. He's from Hawaii for Palestine. He's going to come up and just share mana'o on his experience and growing up in his ancestral lands and what they're all up against. So, without further ado, everybody, please welcome Paipaili Meako for Ma'an Oda, everybody.
سلام جميعا، الرحمة للشهداء، الحرية للأسرى، الشفاء للجرحى والعودة للوطن. Aloha kako. There's a lot of human suffering happening around the world right now, so please, if physically able, stand up and join me for a moment of silence to honor every life that has been sacrificed for sovereignty and liberation in every corner of the world. Thank you. I stood here last year on July 4th, and I stand here today, and I will continue to stand here until Hawaii is once again a sovereign kingdom. Because my ancestors and Kupuna have taught me that wherever you are in the world, you must show up for the land on which your feet are standing. They taught me that the land is your guidance. She is your dignity and pride. So you must fight for her the way you'd fight for your own. Because what is the meaning of your sovereignty if other people are still oppressed? Growing up in Palestine, every single bullet that I've seen fired, every single tear gas canister that I've smelled, and every single bomb that I watched falling from the sky on our heads had a US mark on it, made in the USA. And only a few days before that bomb falls on our heads, it would had already been tested here on sacred Hawaiian mountains and soil. So if that's not enough reason for the connection of our lands and our collective struggle for liberation, I don't know what is. To the colonizer, the land will always be a material commodity, another real estate opportunity for further economic gain. But to us, the land is where we come from, and the land is where we will return. So our love for the land should always far exceed our hatred for those who stole it. Love for our land, aloha aina, in all of its mighty, must be where we draw our longing for sovereignty. It must be our humble guidance for liberation. So the least we can do is to be honest extensions of our genealogies, to tell a word of truth no matter the price, to tell the stories of our land and of her people. Decolonization is never an academic essay, nor a social media trend. It is an actionable love. So I urge you to continue showing up for your community and engage in meaningful action and conversation, because colonizers are experts at bringing destruction, displacement, and death. But we must continue to breathe life. Aloha.
Just straight to the point there. Okay, mahalo. How's everybody doing? So, we are delighted to have this next musical act. They're from Moku, Makona side. She's I am prophesizing she's gonna be a Hoku Hano Hano Award recipient soon.
within the next, I don't know, couple years. But she also teaches music in Kona. She's a Alohaina. Her and her whole family are living on their kuleana lands, their ohana land. And I was just blown away when I first heard her music. It was through my good tita, Kali'ahi Lindsay, who turned me on to this tita. And I was like, wow, her music is awesome. You know, so we became friends. We became pili together, and I asked her if she was able to come over. So she said, "Mai ka'i." So mahalo nui loa to my good brother Kuhio Lewis. I reached out to him, and he had purchased the tickets to fly Maka Gallinger and her ohana over here. So big shout out to Kuhio. Love what they are doing at CNHA. You know, so yeah. So, but before they're getting ready, what, good 5 minutes more, Maka? Okay. All right. So, reclamation of Kanaka identity is very important for us as Kanaka. Especially for me, I live in Waianae Moku, where supposedly we get the most Kanaka iwi on the planet in Waianae Moku. But it's sad to say that this connection is wide, it's rampant. And one day, so if you folks don't know who I am, my name is Iolani. I'm a freaking Alohaina warrior. I'm a He Hawaii au mau mau until my ahiki ke Alohaina hopilo until the last Alohaina. You know, like I said earlier, I'm turning 59, so you know, I'm just 2 generations from the Obotro. My grandfather was born in 1886. My dad was born in 1925. You know, so I'm just 2 generations from the Obotro. But yet, just in that 2 generations, you know, I grew up learning someone else's narrative, someone else's religion, someone else's heroes, someone else's mo'olelos, when we as Kanako iwi had our own and still have. You know, so like I was sharing earlier, like Uncle Skippy Iwani, if you guys know him, he's a freaking warrior too. You know, he said we're not the criminals, yeah. We're the product of the crime. But the beautiful part about it, that we are still here today. Yeah. To awamo the kuleana that our kupuna was placed on them. Now it's on us. You know, so it's exciting times for us as Kanako iwi to actually be here in the 21st century, 2025. Because the system was built against us. We came out of my mom's womb, I was already out on disadvantage already. And for not only for me, for us Kanako iwi. And like sharing back in Waianae. So I'm the alakai for Hui Kulike Kako, was birthed in 2014. If you guys, Stephen is 2nd generation, was birthed out of, I don't know if you guys remember, in 2014, Russia when invade Ukraine, which they're doing now. But in 2014, I believe it was Obama. Obama was the president that time. Senator Kerry was the Secretary of State. So when Vladimir Putin and Russia had invaded Ukraine in 2014, but Ukraine was already recognized as a neutral, friendly, independent country state, Ukraine. Similar, same like us as the Hawaiian Kingdom. So what had happened, Dr. Kianusai had wrote a letter, and he presented that letter to Kamanao Pono Crab, who was the CEO of OHA at that time. And Kamanao Crab had sent that letter to Senator Kerry, right? Asking the validity, because Senator Kerry on behalf of the United States of America was asking Vladimir Putin to stand down because Ukraine is an independent, recognized, neutral country, right? Same thing for us. So when the letter was sent to Senator Kerry, okay, what about the illegal occupation of the Hawaiian Kingdom? And that opened up a Pandora's box. So the response by the United States government, right? Senator Kerry didn't respond back, but what he did, he had sent, I guess, his people, and they sent the DOI, the Department of Interior, and the Department of Justice. They came to Kuhawaii Pa'ina to ask these 5 questions if the Hawaiian people, or the Hawaiian people government will be pono, or would entertain of being reconciled with the United States government. And that one opened Pandora's box. And they were supposed to give everyone over here 90 days. They only gave 30 days notice. So welcome. So mahalo ke kou that social media at that time. Mahalo ke kou that we had our Aloha warriors that was manning social media. So when organized the lahui in 30 days, when the Department of Interior and the Department of Justice came here, that was the first time I spoke publicly. Was at the Capitol. Was at the Capitol, and it was in the auditorium. And was freaking. The Capitol was full. Was, standing room. And that was the first time I spoke. But that one galvanized the lahui. And 99.9% of all the testimonies of all the lahui that came out in many islands was all in opposition. But the beauty part, they knew who they are. Reclamation of Kanaka identity. There was no annexation. An annexation is a legal binding document between two countries. One that is doing annexating and one that is being annexed. In this case was the United States trying to annex ko Hawaii Paina. But it never happened. It never happened. Because of President Grover Cleveland in 1893, James Blunt, as you guys heard today, he came and he investigated 3 months and he said it was illegal. And then 1898, they tried again. And it was true. The voices of our Nakupuna that were taken to Washington, D.C., which was the Ku'e petition. And mahalo ke kua me Nakupuna that we had pono freaking legislators in Congress that day because they never have quorum. Yeah, and they never went back into session. So we are illegally occupied. That's why when Auntie Haunani had said right here in 1893, we are not Americans. I ain't anti-American, I just pro-Kanaka. I pro-Kanaka Iwi. This is my country, where I'm going. They can go back to where they're from. This is our ancestral lands as Kanaka Iwi. But one thing I love about our Nakupuna, they was always inclusive. Prior to January 17, 1893, the Hawaiian Kingdom was made up of multi-ethnic people. Our Nakupuna took in every ethnicity. Koko mattered, but it was your intent. Everything you have to do, you gotta start with being pono. That's what I love about our Nakupuna. I love about our Mo'i Wahine. Because that day, January 17, 1893, 120 sailors, Marines came off the USS Boston. Covered to the hilt with freaking ammunition. 2 Gatling guns that could shoot 600 rounds a minute, this big. They came here under the guise that they're gonna come to a friendly, neutral, recognized country as the Hawaiian Kingdom to protect American lives. When they got off the ship, USS Boston right here in Honolulu Harbor, they came straight here. There was no Americans over here. And since January 16, 1893, January 16, now the day before, they were in Pu'uloa. The presence of the U.S. military complex has never left the shores of our country. And you guys can see the ramifications of what they have done to Aina and displacing people in Pohakuloa, Makua, Po'omoho. Yes, I get plenty hurt. Yes, I get plenty anger. However, I need to use that to ho'omau, to holomua our lahui Hawaii. Eo? Eo? So my po'ina, na mea Hawaii, my po'ina, who you are. He Hawaii au mau. You ready, Maka? You ready? All right, everybody. So with that being said, it's a pleasure to have Maka Gallinger and her ohana here to inspire you guys with some Aloha music, and you guys can go on Spotify. You can go where else you can go on, Maka? Anywhere, yeah. All right. A brand new single coming out today, When We Will Be Free. And so once again, everybody, please give a round of applause for Maka Gallinger, and she'll introduce her hui. Pai pai lima yao ko, everybody. Oh yeah, and at 2 o'clock, we're going to traverse to Kanaina building, the Charles Kanaina building, because Kel Moku Kayama, who's also, we love brother, he's a Kanaka attorney, but he's very versed in the movement. We love you, Kel Moku. And he's going to be putting on a presentation showing Momana'o on our occupation and what we are going through. Okay, so at 2 o'clock, we're gonna traverse to Kanaina building. Okay, right on everybody. Love you guys. Stay brown, everybody. Stay brown.
Emergency. Emergency. Say it with urgency. Said I got an emergency proclamation. Send it out unto the entire Hawaiian nation. Tell them all to quit with no hesitation. Tell the government we're not open for vacation. Amendment 1, end indoctrination. Amendment 2, we must end inoculation. Amendment 3, we must end all occupations. Tell the governments to take a permanent vacation.
My eyes are open, I can clearly see that the system is corrupt. We must the system is corrupt and we must rule it. Set the stage. All they wanna do is regulate. All the foolish laws and delegate. Tell them we the people not to fuck debate. No. Set the stage. The office of Hawaiian affairs. They act like they are unawares. Truth is that they don't really care. No, about Hawaiian people who come from this land. They work the color patches with their own two hands. But not the Maori, every Wahinian man has a connection to the Aina, only they understand. My eyes are open, I can clearly see that the system is corrupt. We must rule it. The system is corrupt and we must rule it. So what we only cool air.
We chase the buffalo out of the valley
Down to the bay.
I said let's hurry up and only cool the situation ever and how's that today?
Bully the system. Today we pay tribute, we say mahalo to all of our ancestors, our kupuna that came before us, that paved the way. But I'm gonna tell you something, Ohana. It's our turn now. We are the future ancestors.
It's an honor to be here. At the back of the valley where nobody goes. Way back where the waterfall flows. The back of the valley where nobody goes. Get a poly with a puka where we bury our bones. And those Eevee are Ahupua, the Iolai are Almakua. God never intended anyone for rule ya. You already are free, don't let nobody fool ya. And so we chant down all of our down pressers, and we oppose all of our oppressors. This one's for my PRE protesters, walking in the footsteps of our ancestors. We entered the room at the top of the stairs, where our queen was imprisoned with her book of prayers, and her only visitor was Mrs. Wilson. They stitched them olelo right into this quilt, and I looked through the same window of antique glass. The queen looked to the harbor, the flag half mast. She knew in her ku'uvai Kalakaua had passed. She knew that her monarchy would not last. And that's why we chant down all of our down pressers, and we oppose all of our oppressors. This one's for my PRE protesters, walking in the footsteps of our ancestors. We only pa'a. Queen Iulai, she was brave, and she paved the way for all of the wahine here today. Haumani Trask was brave, and she paved the way by standing here and teaching Kanaka's ku'e. Robert Wilcox was brave, and he paved the way for all of my revolutionaries. And Mr. George Hellinger was brave, and he paved the way. He gave his life for Hawaiian, and so we say, we chant down all of our down pressers, and we oppose all of our oppressors. This one's for my PRE protesters, walking in the footsteps of our ancestors. Said we chanting down all of our down pressers, and we oppose any and all oppressors. This one's for my PRE protesters, walking in the footsteps of our ancestors. Walking in the footsteps of our ancestors. Help me, cool, hey, cool, hey, cool, hey, cool, hey.
To all of our future ancestors. Whew. Mahalo nui ohana. We're so grateful and blessed to be here to share. And this was my first time experiencing the reenactment right here on this aina. Powerful. So powerful. Mahalo for being here. This is a brand new single out today. When will we be free? Sending this out to all of you. Our burdens get you down. of this world choke you out. We receive as we let go. Whoa. Peace like a river for your soul. When will we be free? When will we be free? Oh, na 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 na, yeah. When will we be free?
Free from the things that divide us. Free up the love we have inside us. Free from the ones that free from all the
Anger and the hate.
free from the judgment and blame. Free from poverty and shame. Free from all the pride and all the pain. Can't you see inside that we are all the same?
When will we be free? When will we be free? Oh, na 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 na, yeah. When will we be free?
Free from their indoctrinations. Free from their forced vaccinations. Free from their trials and tribulations. Free from military occupations. Free from their boundaries and borders. Free from their new world orders. Free from their wars and their terrors. We want our freedom and our right up back.
When will we be free? When will we be free? Oh, na 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 na, yeah. When will we be free? When will we be free? Don't let your burdens get you down. All the cares of this world choke you out. We receive as we let go. Whoa. It's like the river for your soul. When will we be free? When will we be free? Oh, na 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 na, yeah. When will we be free? Mahalo. So grateful to share the stage with my Ohana sister Mo on bass. This is my husband Kavika on the end there. And our eldest son Iulai, 16 years old. And they're going to share a special number that they put together for this special day and occasion.
Those wicked sugar barons, sons of missionaries, whose God is their money, whose ruler is greed, alongside the Freemasons, secret societies, conspired to steal our kingdom and depose our king. And it was January 17, 1893, when the minister John L. Stevens, with the help of U.S. Marines, had the audacity, uninvited, bloodstained boots on our shore. And according to theirs and our treaties, this was a blatant act of war. And so Kuwait, Kuwait, we must always Kuwait till the last aloha aina. Until our dying day we must Kuwait, Kuwait, forever Kuwait, the belligerent ongoing occupation of Hawaiian. And just like the damming of the waters, Keliʻiponi Hale, agreeing to their annexation would be like being buried alive. We must be steadfast in aloha, united in thought, know the truth of our mo'olelo, not the lies that we've been taught. Kuwait, Kuwait, we must always Kuwait till the last aloha aina. Till our dying day we must Kuwait, Kuwait, forever Kuwait, the belligerent ongoing occupation of Hawaii. We must Kuwait, Kuwait, we must always Kuwait till the last aloha aina. Till our dying day we must Kuwait, Kuwait, we must forever Kuwait, the belligerent ongoing occupation of Hawaii.
Always Kuwait. All right, this next number is called Ayin Aina, Not For Sale. Truly, whatever is in the aina of our hearts overflows into our communities and the world around us. And that's what we've seen generation after generation, is the pilau that comes out of here. And so, mahalo ohana for being real and not selling out. We don't have to sell out our culture, our tradition, our morals, our values, our keiki. Ayin aina, not for sale. What's real? Who's real? Ayin aina, not for sale. No deal, tell them no deal. Alam my kupuna appeal, kanaka mauri appeal. Tell them ayin aina, not for sale. Tell them no deal. Take some time out today. I did that in the valley. Listen what the aina said. It says we're not for sale, we're in Hawaii. Take some time out today to pray and stay in the moment. Recognize Ahupua your help on this next part. Can you say thank you?
Thank you.
Here we go.
If you didn't sell out today, then we say thank you.
Thank you.
If you didn't give it all away for money, brother, thank you.
Thank you. If you stood up on what was right, even when it cost you, thank you. Now we must stand and we must fight. They try not to take your land and life. No thank you. No thank you. Down at the islands not for sale. Honolulu not for sale. Prices on a paradise that hang up on our trails. Sky high not for sale. Iolani not for sale. Back off. Ahupua. Internet must come in. Iulai. So thank you. Thank you. So thank you.
Thank you.
So thank you. Mahalo nui loa. So thank you. Tell me what's real, who's real. I not for sale. No deal, time no deal. All of my kupuna appeal, kanaka mauri appeal. Tell him I not for sale. I not for sale. We want to leave you with this last number, Ohana. We are the keiki of this aina, and we are one. It's the spirit of aloha that unites us.
Everybody, how you guys loving the music, everybody? Tito Makagana Janner, Hana and Tito Mo on bass. They're from Moku, but they'll be here in January for Onipa. Show some love, everybody. This is Keiki Okaina, this last song. Show love, Oahulua.
I encourage you guys, if willing and if can, to just stand and join hands with your ohana next to you. And this is about a nation uniting, for we truly are one, but only when we stand together. We are the keiki of this aina. We laugh and sing the whole day long. At night we all come together, for we are one. Mau mau katu, mau mau. We get our food from this aina. It comes as blessings from above. We learn to care and love each other, for we are one. Mau mau katu, mau mau. A pule for our keiki. Samana little children, this is what I pray. Lord, protect our keiki here in Hawaii. I pray against the murder and the suicide rate. I pray against the hate in the aloha state. We must be like the keiki to enter his kingdom. Mama, protect our daughters, Lord, protect our sons. Pray against the drugs, Lord, I pray against the guns. Pray we can come together, love and live as one. We are one. We are one. Mau mau katu, mau mau. We are the keiki of this aina.
And Lahu, if you guys love her, you guys can find her on any Spotify, YouTube, whatever, eh? Kita. Right on, that was beautiful. How's everybody doing? We're gonna bring up our next speaker. This next speaker is also Kanaka, and he once served in the Capitol as a senator, but he's a Lahaina warrior as well. Pai pai limiauko, everybody, give it up for Kanela Ing, everybody.
Aloha ina kako. For decades, they've called us crabs in a bucket. That when one Kanaka Maoli starts to rise, the rest of us pull them down in our selfish endeavors. But today I stand here to firmly and proudly and utterly reject that fiction, because our people are no more divided than any other. Just look at America. Republicans and Democrats devouring each other daily. Corporations stabbing small business owners in the back for just a little bit more market share. Family members no longer on speaking terms on partisan grounds. And yet they call us divided. They dehumanize us and say, blame the crab beneath you. So we forget to look up and see who's shaking the bucket, or why we're in this bucket in the first place. Because they know if we believe that we're divided, we won't have the leverage to huli that bucket and take back the beach. And by bucket, I of course mean systems. A system that forces us into the reality where the only way to rise out of poverty or to rise into power is to rise from the lahui and not with the lahui. To rise against your ohana and not for your ohana. Just look at the economy. The only jobs to make it in this town are the ones that pull our ancestors out of the ground. The development jobs that crush our iwi kupuna. Pitting people like us against our cousins in construction. Or you look at the visitor industry. They say you have to support those multinational corporate hotels because they need the water for the tourist pools and for the golf courses. Never mind the kalo farmer that used to be your neighbor. Never mind the Hawaiian homesteads that still feed off those streams. Or we know the military is harming our land. But the only way to buy a house for 0% down is to join the socialist service of the military. The only way to pay off your college loans is to join the service. So we can blame our attitudes. Yes, we can do better and heal and unite, but it's these systems that will keep tearing us apart. But the good thing about systems is they're designed by humans. They're created by people, which means they can be dismantled and reconfigured and reconstructed by people as well. And what better people to do that today than the Napo'e o Ka'aina, the Kamaka Maoli and Kama'aina right here today. I've been looking around, I've seen more doctors and lawyers and scientists and kumu than ever before. People that are ready to ku ika'aina, ku ikapono, as if we're ready to lead a nation. But it's not just the professionals that we'll need. If you can use your hands to your heart and your head and our history, then you're critical for Hawaii's future. In fact, in this era of artificial intelligence, when Western knowledge workers are being eradicated, it is Maka'ainana who will rise. Because you can't digitize the aina. You can't automate our traditions. And you can't reduce the ike kupuna into code or big data.
30 years ago, Haunani Keitras was standing here, and she said that cultural people need to be more political. As a Keiki, I took that to the heart, to the point where I was elected at 23 years old, and I stood in that square building. It was a conundrum. I stood at that 4th floor on my balcony, and I looked out to a so-high Hawaii flying above Iolani Palace. It's a bizarre reality, right? A young Kanaka American politician. And I tried my best from the inside. We passed bills, required board members to learn about Native Hawaiian law, including BONR. And I think that mattered today with Makua and Pohakuloa, don't you think? We returned the streams of East Maui to the family farmers, to the kalo farmers. We created community-based subsistence fishing areas to keep that icebox open for the Lava'i'a who still live as our village elders do. But every time I stuck my neck out for an issue like that, both Democrats and Republicans said, Kaniela, your crazy is showing. As if it's crazy to take bold solutions that are based in our aina that we actually need to survive. As if it's not crazy to think you can tinker around the edges and take bribes from corporations and still enact the change that we need. So I realized we can't accomplish everything from the inside. What we need is a mass movement of people across the Pai'aina in order to win the change that we so desperately need. We're on sacred grounds. I think about our queen being in prison, and I think about the Honolulu Rifles, those far-right oligarchs, those corporate Americans who stood watch holding weapons in their hands, ready to murder her as soon as she steps out. And then I think about the Aloha Aina patriots that took to arms themselves in order to defend our queen. Robert Wilcox, Joseph Navahi, Prince Kuhil, to name a few. They fought for days, they're outnumbered, they're eventually in prison. So what, was that all poho? No, because as soon as they got out of prison, our people elected them into the highest offices of this land, like Nelson Mandela. And I think about if they're willing to sacrifice, because they proved to the people they're willing to put their lives on the line. But if they're willing to do that, what are we willing to do? I'm not condoning violence here. Those were different times. But what I'm saying is we need to do much, much more. We often elevate our ali'i as if they're some mythic figures. And yes, they were honorable. But remember, if you're Kanaka and you're alive today, then you have that bloodline within you. And you're a leader of this land in your own right. We need to be composing new mele, like Lili'u, like Kumuhina. We need to be creating new political infrastructure outside these colonial parties, like the Home Rule Party of Prince Kuhil and Robert Wilcox. We need to be voyaging across the Pacific, forming new alliances like Kalakaua. We need to be standing with the working class, like Princess Ruth, and educating the next generation of keiki, like Pauahi. We all have that within us. We all have our kulana. But we gotta put the colonial labels aside. It's no longer Democrat or Republican or college educated, non-college educated, OIA, ILH, East Side, West Side, Aole. If you're Kanaka Maoli today, if you're Kama Aina, we need you in this fight. So mahalo, glad to be here. So sorry you're stuck in the rain, but sometimes we need this for the seeds to grow within us. Yeah. So aloha aina, mahalo kako, meka oya i'o. Aloha.
Mahalo, everybody. Thank you, Brother Kaniela. Thank you. So the next speaker I want to bring up is my good friend as well, Professor Kyle Kazuhiro. He's been following the U.S. military complex and the detriment that they have been doing to our Aina since being here. Mahalo, brother. Thank you, Kanela. So, paipali mayaw ko, everybody, for my good friend as well as yours, Kyle Kazuhiro, everybody.
Hello, Mike Kako. My name is Kyle Kazuhiro.
Can you say aloha with love, everybody? Say one more time. One more time, Kanela. Aloha mai kapu.
Hello, Mike Kako.
Mahalo lahui.
Mahalo. My name is Kyle Kazuhiro. I live in Mo'ili'ili and I teach at the University of Hawaii at Manoa, Ethnic Studies. I want to thank all the organizers for putting on this reenactment and putting on events like this. It's important that we remember and what the words that were spoken, the actual words of the conspirators, made me think about a quote from William Faulkner, the writer. He said, "The past is not dead, it's not even past." And it made me think about how the past of what has happened to Hawaii is not dead and it's not past, it's still happening. It's an unfolding, ongoing occupation, dispossession, and Hawaii gets used in that and gets used up in that. And so that's what I wanted to talk about. And another thing that brought to mind is this is a small group of rich Haole men with white supremacist, racist ideas. They were imperialists. They were anti-democratic. They thought that they alone should rule over the majority of people who were brown. And made me think about, that sounds awfully familiar to some of the politics we're seeing unfolding right now. One of the reasons that the conspirators used to justify and to argue for annexation of Hawaii is that it was a way to protect against the yellow peril. They were talking about people like me. Chinese, Japanese, Asians were framed as the enemy, right? And now fast forward to World War II, when 120,000 Japanese Americans were put in concentration camps in the United States. Several thousand from Hawaii were also rounded up and put in camps. And when I see the videos of ICE Gestapo agents capturing people and disappearing them in the United States, I'm getting flashbacks to that history. So again, the past is not dead, it's not even past. In 2011, when President Obama and Secretary of State Clinton were in town for the APEC summit in Waikiki, how many of you remember that, where they put a barrier around Waikiki, they had patrols with barbed wire, they even cordoned off the ocean. You couldn't surf at Kaiser or Bowles because those were all considered security zones. And while those world leaders met and people were protesting outside, they announced that the U.S. was going to undergo a pivot to the Pacific. This was supposed to be this big foreign policy change that Obama was instituting. But if you know Hawaii's history, as many of us here know, the pivot started long before 2011, right? Hawaii was always seen as part of this pivot of the United States from an empire that crossed the continent, genocided native peoples, enslaved African peoples, and when they reached the West Coast, they looked across to Asia and they were like, we want to get there, but how do we get there? We got to take Hawaii. So Hawaii was a pivot of American empire, but how do we get there? We got to take Hawaii. So Hawaii was a pivot of American empire from the continent overseas, and it still acts. It was nothing new. It was just a continuation. The past is not dead. It's not even past. In any kind of a pivot, there is a fulcrum, right? If you ever try to use a lever to lift up a heavy object, you got to put something underneath to lift it. And that's what gives you more force to be able to apply some force on one end and lift a much heavier object on the other end. So this is how Hawaii gets used. We are a tool of empire. We are a lever, a fulcrum of empire to assert force against other peoples, other nations. As Ma'an said today, the techniques of killing and genocide that are being waged against people in Palestine were practiced, perfected, trained here on Hawaiian Aina. And other wars that have happened from Vietnam to Iraq to Afghanistan were practiced here. Another way that Hawaii was a fulcrum of empire, 1893, the overthrow. This is the first American regime change. The first time a sovereign country was overthrown by the United States, a puppet government installed that would be more malleable to US interests. And that has continued on. 1953, the US and the CIA and British engaged in a coup d'etat, a regime change against the democratic leadership in Iran. And just recently, Israel launched attacks, aggression against Iran, and the United States bombed Iran. Illegal acts of war without a declaration of war, without approval of Congress, without any provocation. And so again, Hawaii acts as a pivot. It acts as a fulcrum. But we're also in a time of change, of Hulihia. There's an inflection point, and empire is crumbling, is imploding. I think this is what we're seeing all around the world and also within US cities, across the United States. We're seeing an implosion, we're seeing a cannibalization of communities, of people. And whenever empires fall, it can also be a very violent and destructive time. And I think that's part of what we're seeing. The trajectory of the future, though, is up to us. Whether we embrace the rising fascism, the rising authoritarianism that we're seeing, or whether we embrace and create a different kind of future. One that people have been articulating here, that Hawaiians have been articulating for a long time, of ea, of sovereignty, of aloha, of Hawaii being a people. And so this is bringing it back to the issue of military lands. We have an inflection point, we have a moment to actually recover lots of land that the military has stolen and has used. At the time of statehood, about 40,000 acres of Hawaiian trust lands, these are lands of the government and crown lands of the Hawaiian Kingdom, were kept by the United States and leased for $1 for 65 years. This is land in about 24,000 acres in Pohakuloa, about 4,000 acres in Po'amoho, several hundred acres in Kahuku, and about 800 acres in Makua. The Navy also has land, about 800 acres in Makua. About 8,000 acres of land. And up on top of our mountaintops, from Kokee to Haleakala, Kaena, Ka'ala, the Air Force has these tracking stations. You may have seen these white domes on top of the mountains. Those are also leases that will come due in 2029. These leases expire, they're not renewable. And so this is an opportunity we have to actually get land recovered. Whether they clean it up or not is another fight. And that's one that it's going to take more pressure. We've seen some hopeful signs. The Department of Land and Natural Resources has rejected the Army's environmental impact statement for Pohakuloa, as well as the Oahu sites, which was huge. They never put our side usually. But it's still going to take a lot of pressure. And the other thing that's we have to maka'ala for is that the Army may try to pull out the card of condemnation. And that would be the ultimate nuclear option for them. But it's one that they still haven't, they never said that they won't use it. And given the current regime in the United States, that may be possible. So we have to also make that a politically impossible stance for them to take. We shut down Red Hill. Thank you, everyone. We got Kaho'olawe back. And Makua has had no live fire training for over 20 years. And we're planning for the future when the Army leaves and how that Makua will be returned to the community and cleaned up and restored for cultural use. So we are at a point where things are changing here in Hawaii, and it could have far-reaching ramifications for the world. So if you are have done judo or jiu-jitsu, you know that one of the biggest factors is where a smaller opponent can neutralize a larger and more strong opponent through leverage. It's using basically fulcrums and leverage to neutralize someone who might be much stronger than you. And in many ways, this is what Kaho'olawe was. It was leverage. This is what Moku has been. So how can we use the leverage that we have to stop the death machine that continues to roll on and continue to cause death around the world? Hawaii can be a point where that gets turned back the other way. And so the Italian revolutionary Antonio Gramsci, who died in Mussolini's fascist prison, he said at that time, the world is dying, the old world is dying, and the new world is struggling to be born. Now is the time of monsters. I think this is the kind of moment that we're in, where the old world is dying, there's all kinds of craziness and fear and violence that's erupting, but we also have a chance to change the course of the future. And this is where I ask you all, is Hawaii going to continue to be the pivot of empire, or will we be a people of liberation? Thank you. Will we be a people of liberation? Thank you.
From Kanaka Kepani, you know? Oi. Kayo, you Kepani or you the kind Okinawan? Okay, Kepani. Not bad, you know. That's what I call my settler allies, you know. I love people like Kyle, you know. How's everybody doing? You guys okay? You guys right on? Alright, I stay my fit cup out, feeling good. But anyway, I'm gonna call my cousin Malia Evans, and she's gonna bring up some of her hui. They're gonna talk about the development, or the so-called development, of the gondolas in Ka'ala on Waialua side, yeah, because we share Ka'ala in Waianae, right, and that's our mauna as well, and that's where we grow on Waianae side. That's where we grow our kalo. But anyway, Paili Miyaoku for my cousin Malia Evans and her hui from Waialua Neighborhood Board. Civic Club, and they're going to share some information on how you can get activated to kako'o, you know, to stand up against this developer that wants to develop these monstrosities of gondolas up on our beloved Mauna. Ka'ala, if you guys don't know, Ka'ala is our Mauna on Kakuiheba, on Oahulua. That's our tallest mountain, 4,025 feet. That's our Mauna Awakia. Anyway, pai lima yauko, everybody. Aloha nui kākou. E ko wai anai, e o. E ko Eva, e o. E ko Kona, e o. E ko olau oa, e o. E ko olau poko, e o. E ko wai alua, e o. E o. Wa oli mākou ia hano hano waialua me ke keiki a kapuna na leo o waialua o kamana nui kona inoa. We chanted for you hano hano waialua, a mele of the puna na leo o waialua with our keiki, kamana nui, so that we may bring the names of the places that we represent and the aina that we come from, waialua. Aloha nui kako.
Aloha nui, o vau o Malia Evans, no waialua mai iau. We are here today to share with you the heva that is being planned for our Mauna Ka'ala. I see several of you in the audience who were with us at our community meeting about 2 weeks ago and our flag waving.
Mahalo.
That we had, so mahalo nui for being here, because it's going to take koe aloha aina to make sure that these developers do not desecrate our aina and our ka'ala and our collective mauna, because we are all connected to her. So we are here to share. We have a meeting coming up on July 30th that will be held at Lelehua High School at 6:30. You are all welcome to come, share your mana'o, share your displeasure of people being allowed to buy our aina and desecrate our aina. So July 30th, 6:30 p.m. at Lelehua High School. We also have a petition on change.org, and you can find it under the Ku Kia'i Ka'ala. So if you look for that, please sign our petition. We are just starting to organize. So we have a Facebook page. We don't have one Instagram yet, but that's coming. So if any of you help us, that's all my kai. You can find the Facebook page is Ku Kia'i Mauna Ka'ala. So please join in, join the group. We'll be posting updates on the Facebook there, so you can be aware of the different actions that we will be doing over the course of however long this takes. We will be there, and if we need to, we will put our bodies in front of whatever's happening to make sure that we protect our Mauna as she had protected us. When I was coming over here, she was covered, as she usually is, with the clouds, yeah? And once in a while, she reveals herself. But the aloha that I feel for her, I see her every morning when I wake up, and that aloha, that deep aloha that we have for our aina, I have no words to describe what that is. And to see the military bombing our aina, to see the smoke and the fires that are happening on this beautiful Mauna, it's just one thing after another. And so hopefully this time we can stop this development, and in perpetuity, we don't allow any of that on ag lands. These are agricultural lands. There is a big, huge misuse that's happening in Waialua and other ag places, that people are coming in saying they're going to grow things and they grow nothing. And all they want to grow is profits. And so this is another thing that we have to be aware of with these corporations coming in and saying they're going to do agritourism, because that's all BS, and that's not what they're doing. So mahalo nui, Maka will share more.
Oh yeah, mahalo e ana ke malia. Olalo ya aloha, olalo o ko aina. Aloha! 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 To the last aloha aina. From the top of Mauna Kea to our Mauna that we share with Kowai Anai, we're here to share and request your support. Much information is out there. One website that you can seek is keepthenorthshore.country.org/Kamananui. keepthenorthshore.country.org/Kamananui. You'll see lots of information, pictures available of what the developer is proposing. Absolute heva. The monstrosity that I like to call aerial cable cars, because that just sounds industrial, and that's what it's going to be. An aerial cable car that we do not need on our Mauna. On the website, you'll also see an alliance, Pupa'a,
Ka'ala Alliance. If you feel moved for your organization, your hui to join our alliance, and kupa'a no yamauna e olu olu e kume mako. Aloha! Aloha! Mahalo nui kako. Aloha.
How's everybody doing? Okay, so we got like 10 Hawaiian minutes because at 2 o'clock we need to traverse to the Kanaina building. But when you kupuna status as a rock star status as this gentleman right now, Uncle Liko Martin, Uncle Liko is going to come and do 2 songs and then we're going to close with Cousin Star. She's going to do 2 songs as well, accompanied by her kane, James Mai Oho. If you guys don't know, the Mai Oho Beckley Ohana was given the kuleana by Queen Liliuokalani to kia'i ala na mo'i, iwi o na mo'i up Mauna Ala. Yeah, so we're gonna have Uncle Liko just come and do a couple songs and then we're gonna close out with Cousin Star. For here, this part anyway. Because at 2 o'clock, Moku Kayama is gonna do a presentation on what went down today. So it's gonna be in the AC building, right in Kanaina building, okay? All right, everybody? So after everything over here, then we traverse over there because we got to show up over there and give love to Moku as well as in Kalani Winchester. You're holding it down over there. All right. Without further ado, everybody, give it up for this living legend who I'm proud to say I can call him anytime. And we came very peely. Pai Mayauko, everybody. Uncle Liko Martin. And then this was jamming with Iulai over here, so Iulai is going to accompany him on some kihalu. So, and then we're going to follow with Cousin Star and James. Love you guys.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Okay. 10 Hawaiian minutes. 5, 3. We're down to 2 minutes now. 2 Hawaiian minutes. Songs. We're just gonna jam. Just met Iulai today. We're gonna jam this song. Very pleasure to play. One time I was watching Dishes on Hawaii, and this voice came to me. Liko, tell it like this. And this is the song. It's about the love letters for Queen, the Queen. Love letters in the sand from a woman to a man, begging of you please restore your pride and dignity. Love letters, I am told, were sent a long time ago. I'm waiting for an answer, please. Love letters from the king. Love letters from her heart. Tell me someday we will go back. We'll be happy playing in the sun.
Papa working in the town plant. Love letters from her heart. Tell me someday we will never part. And until then, until we meet again, take these love letters from my heart. Love letters, love letters. They came aboard in stormy weather. I'm waiting for an answer, please. To love letters from the Queen. Love letters from the Queen. To the businessman and Marines. Written while she was in chains. The castle of the king. Love letters from her heart. Tell me someday we will never part. And we'll be happy playing in the sun. Papa working in the taro patch. Love letters from her heart. Tell me someday we will never part. And until then, until we meet again, take these love letters from my Mahalo, mahalo. So that's, I mean, there's so many songs. And so this song, this is about the patriarch. This is called, we're gonna save the Hawaiian next time. Action is like, when there's nowhere to run and nowhere you can hide, and the only thing you got is a patriot's dream. The patriots gathered on the palace steps. Some just watched and wept, others simply fled as the Marines came marching up the boulevard with their Gatling guns and their shining swords. Oh, the Queen looked out from her palace walls, standing tall for one and all, and her song of aloha still fills the air, and the marching band plays on. So patriots gather 40,000 strong, protest the taking of the sacred ground, and the Queen left her letter on the justice door, and the patriots held on. Oh, the patriots gathered at Thomas Square. They raised the flag, and we are here, and the song they sang was for righteousness, and the patriots held on. And when there's nowhere to run and nowhere you can hide, and the only thing you got is to give up your life,
So we see you at Thomas Square, the 27th. Hui. We got the deep, we got the depth, we got the line, we got the issue. We held them. It's like this is like the middle of the halftime. We had a great one this year. All the issues that are coming up, let's get them in the second half and take it home. It's our home. Let's put things in their place. Aloha.
So beautiful, eh? And you know, we are so honored to still have Uncle Liko with us today, you know. So the last Sunday of this month, on the 28th at La Hoi Hoi at the Pico, Uncle Liko is him and along with the late great Uncle Abel Simeona will be the they'll be honored at La Hoi Hoi. So once again, give it up for Uncle Liko, everybody, and Iulai accompany him. Right on. So we got Cousin Star and her Kanye James Mai'oho is gonna do a couple songs, close it out. Once again, please, can everybody, after Star them are done, please everybody traverse over to the Kana'ina building, because you don't wanna miss out what Moku Kayama is gonna present, and you know AC inside there. So please show you guys love and you know and head over there. And I want to mahalo each and every one of you folks for showing up today, right? Because this is not our Independence Day. November 28th is our Independence Day. Love each and every one of you folks. Cousin Star and James Mai'oho will be up soon.
That's for real, my cousin. My great-grandmother carries the name that he carries, Keliʻiponi Hale. I like for real, my cousin. So, yeah, our family comes to Kaiahao Church, and I'm really honored to share in this time and space with you, because you know that's what mele is. It's a poetic expression of time and space. I'm really honored to have been like a vessel of these words today, and really honored to be a vessel of the music of those who have come before us. I would like to introduce my partner. yeah, that's what that is. Like it's a whole testimony which is beyond me. So I just have to show up and be obedient to Keokua, to my kupuna. We met at Kaiahao Church, and he has some kuleana that I would like to give him some space to share before we do this song that was composed by his great-grandmother. I'm really honored to be surrounded and inspired by brilliant composers. And I just want to say, Uncle Rico Martin, when I was on the front line, he leans over to me and he's like, "Baby, would you like to sing?" And I'm like, the only thing I could think of was Kealoha Kahaku, the prayer, the Queen's prayer that was composed by Queen Liliuokalani right there in the room that she was imprisoned in, which I will end my sharing with today. But ladies and gentlemen, this is my info. James J. Kale Momahu, Crowning Bird, Mai'oho.
Mahalo. Thank you, Albert. Everybody for coming out today. This is a very emotional day for me. This was, and what was lovely about this aina, this was Luna Vilo's mother's aina originally. He was born right over there in the wooden house that used to sit here, and that is my line. Two of my grandparents were buried across the street with him, and Chuchu's grandmothers buried in the mound in Ho'okaina. So this is the first time in over 50 years I allowed myself to step up onto this pavilion, and it's even hard to go inside. So everything that people have brought today and said, and something that Hina said earlier, you know, we have to know ourselves. And to know yourself, you have to know who and where you come from. Because our kupuna that we come from, we are the walking representation of them in the here and now. And we need to know, and we need to carry ourselves appropriately and like them to take on whatever our individual kuleana and kulana is in this space and time. So I'm really only able to come up here because of Star's healing voice, you know. So A big mahalo to our Lokuis, our Kahiki. Mahalo.
This song was composed by James Tutu, entitled Ku'ulea. I mean, what an honor, what an honor, what an honor. I know that we only have like a little bit of time left. I just want to close this offering with Ke Aloha Okahaku, the Queen's Prayer, and I encourage each and every one of you to do your own personal investigation into this pule that she calls, where she calls God the great composer, which I love so much as a musician. Yeah. And there is healing for each and every one of us in the intention, vibration, and resonance of her meta. So mahalo for being here, for showing up, for holding this space while we have this opportunity to. And it's such an honor and a privilege to share this 2025 July 4th with each and every one of you.
All right, everybody, this concludes our mana'o right here. But give it up for all the amazing speakers and amazing musicians that took their time to come here. And we're going to traverse Moku, Kayama right here, my brother. Raise your hand, nice and high. We're going to go into the Kanaina building right now, everybody. And then you're going to be more informed and more inspired with what? Into the Kanaina building right now, everybody. And then you're going to be more informed and more inspired with what Moku Kayama has to share. All right, everybody, and then we're gonna come out and close out over here. Okay, Hikino, everybody? Hikino? Can, no can, bottles? Can. All right. Love you, Lahui Hawaii. Ahiki ke aloha aina hopeloa. Yeah, to the last aloha aina. All right, everybody. Let's go traverse to the Kanaina building, get more inspired, more informed, and then we'll come back here and we'll close out in a big circle. All right? Thank you guys. Love you guys. Aloha.
Mahalo once again, everybody, for coming down to Iolani Palace to celebrate Death of a Nation. I want to remind everybody, we have one more special presentation over at Kanaina building. We're in jack up the air condition, extra cold. So those of you guys who's feeling that heat, those of you guys interested in Hawaiian independence, the laws of occupation, we brought an expert in the field who has prepared a special presentation to talk about Hawaiian independence and the illegal occupation of Hawaii. We encourage you all for the free presentation to join us at Kanaina building. We're about 200 yards that away. Once again, for those of you guys who don't have anywhere to go, we encourage you to stick around for another short presentation by none other than Ke'ea Moku Ka'iyama, legal expert on international law. Those of you who have questions, we encourage you to take your questions to Ke'ea Moku. Those of you guys who will be around, we encourage you to take your questions to Ke'ea Moku. Those of you guys who will be around at the end of July, we encourage you all to please join us at the first national celebration, Restoration Day, July 27th, the last Sunday of every July. Please join us, gang. Bring your ohana, bring some money. We get plenty of food, get plenty of things for purchase, plenty kanakas. Mahalo everybody once again for joining us. Don't go far. Big mahalo to 2025 honoree Uncle Liko Kalani Martin. Big round of applause, everybody. Uncle Liko was up here jamming with some of the new generation, those of us who came from Moku, Keawe, aloha, welcome. Mahalo to our Waianae Ohana coming in to share about the important messages of their community. Ku'e gondolas, we got your back. E ola la hui, mahalo no ko, ola la Hawaiian mai ko kako la hui. E au mai ka la hui, e au mai ka ola la Hawaii no hoi. May manao with that. We encourage everybody once again. We have about 40 seats, air conditioned. Oh, the bathrooms are open too, gang. Air conditioned bathrooms, flushing toilets. The sinks are working. There's 2 of them. Get soap, get everything. Please join us for our special presentation from our international expert. We brought all the way from Kaimuki, I think they're from. Mahalo to our special presenters today, Kumuhina. Mahalo to all of our homies and allies out there, Ma'an, Kyle, Navid. Our blessings and aloha go to you and your people. We stand with you, just like you stand with us. Aloha kako. Orange. Hey. Love you.
Oh, you too. Yeah. Oh, cool.